Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into something completely universal today, loneliness. And we're going to break down this one incredible, really profound paragraph from our source material that I guarantee is going to totally flip how you view isolation. Most of us default to thinking about loneliness as this strictly physical thing, right? Like someone sitting alone in a dark room, or going a whole weekend without talking to a single soul. But today, we're throwing that assumption out the window. We're peeling back the layers to see what that true, authentic emptiness inside a human being actually is. It's deep, it's philosophical, but man, it hits so close to home for pretty much everyone. So let's just dive right in.
Let's kick things off with a direct question for you. Have you ever felt completely lonely in a crowded room? Just picture it for a second. You're sitting right in the middle of a bunch of close friends, or maybe you're at a huge family gathering. People are laughing, the energy is great, the conversations are buzzing, but right there, smack in the center of all that noise, you feel this weird, creeping silence inside you. You feel totally disconnected. It's that sinking feeling that, despite all the bodies around you, something big is just missing. Asking this question really strips away the illusion that loneliness is just a head count. It proves that feeling isolated has literally nothing to do with the number of people in the room with you. It's an internal thing, a quiet detachment that can make you feel like a total stranger even when you're shoulder to shoulder with 100 people. Now, here's where the source text completely dismantles the traditional definition of loneliness that society accepts. It totally shifts away from physical reality and redefines it as this deeply internal cognitive state. The text tells us that true loneliness isn't about an absence of people, it's an emptiness of the heart. It's the absolute absence of anyone who genuinely understands your feelings and your thoughts. I mean, really think about the gravity of that for a second. You can speak, and people might hear the sound of your voice. They might even nod along. But if there isn't a single person who grasps the soul behind those words, who actually gets your core thoughts, then you are entirely alone. That profound lack of being understood, that's the real essence of an empty heart.
Okay, so how do we actually get there? What triggers this profound internal isolation? The text points out three very distinct catalysts, specific life experiences that basically sever our connection to the people around us. First up is deep sorrow. When you're fractured on the inside by grief, there's this overwhelming sense that absolutely no one else could possibly fathom your specific wound. Second is failure. When you fall short and everyone else just keeps moving forward, people might offer pity, sure, but pity isn't understanding, is it? It actually just widens the gap. And the third one, which I find absolutely fascinating, is holding on to dreams that seem completely meaningless to others. You've got this burning passion keeping you up at night, but to the rest of the world, it just looks foolish. These three things act like invisible walls, instantly cutting us off from the understanding of the world around us. And when any of those three factors hit, the result is captured in this hauntingly beautiful metaphor from the text. They become a traveler of a different world. Seriously, think about how powerful that phrasing is. Going through deep, misunderstood sorrow, enduring a massive failure, or chasing a dream nobody else gets, it alienates you so thoroughly that you literally feel like you aren't in the same universe anymore. Physically, sure, you live in the same city, you're walking down the exact same grocery store aisles, but mentally, emotionally, you're a traveler on a distant planet, and you're the sole inhabitant. You're going through the daily motions, but your inner life is wandering around in a completely different galaxy. It's this severe alienation that breeds an inescapable sense of isolation.
This leads us straight into the tragic irony of human nature. When we feel that our true selves are completely misunderstood, what's our instinct? What do? Well, the text points out that we adopt artificial behaviors just to please the world around us. And it's honestly heartbreaking. In this desperate need to be accepted, to not stand out as broken or weird, we put on masks, we plaster on these fake smiles and pretend everything is just fine. But the incredible cost of this survival mechanism is that it traps us even further inside our own loneliness. Our true self, the part that's aching for connection, gets buried under all this pretense. Because we refuse to share our authentic truth, we're basically guaranteeing that nobody can understand us. The harder we try to appear normal for the crowd, the more profoundly isolated we actually become.
So here is where we hit the absolute climax of isolation. And the text makes it incredibly clear this doesn't happen because of some external event. It's not because someone walked out of your life. It happens entirely internally, right when the connection between your heart and your mind completely snaps. Your mind knows the drill, right? It knows it has to conform, it knows exactly how to put on that fake smile and keep up appearances, but your heart is experiencing a totally different reality.
a separate sorrow, a separate truth. When your logical side and your emotional side completely disconnect from each other, it's like a severe internal collision. You actually lose your own identity in the process. You become estranged from yourself. And honestly, there is zero loneliness deeper or more devastating than being separated from your own true self.
We've arrived at the heaviest philosophical truth of this text. The ultimate tragedy of loneliness, the absolute bedrock of it, is this unshakable conviction that your pain is solely yours, and that literally no one else has the capacity to feel its intensity. When a person reaches this specific mental state, the circle of isolation is complete. We convince ourselves that our suffering is so incredibly unique, so uniquely dark, that putting it into words or hoping someone else could carry even a fraction of its weight is just mathematically impossible. It's this exact belief that pushes us into the darkest, most unreachable depths of isolation. It's an emotional weight that you believe you absolutely must carry entirely alone, even if you're standing squarely in the middle of a bustling crowd.
Let's bring this all together. We've explored how physical crowds mean absolutely nothing to an empty heart, how our own defense mechanisms end up building our cages, and how the deepest loneliness is losing connection with ourselves. But I want to leave you with one final, pretty provocative thought. If our own greatest, most agonizing pain is feeling completely misunderstood by the world, whose hidden sorrow are you failing to understand today? Think about that right now. This question shifts the focus outward. It demands that we actually look at the people brushing past us every single day. Because the truth is, the person standing right next to you, your friend, your coworker, your family member, might be a traveler of a different world at this very moment. Next time you see someone wearing a perfectly crafted, artificial smile, just remember the profound loneliness that might be echoing right beneath the surface. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Give this some deep thought and see if you can be the person who finally understands that quiet traveler sitting right next to you.